Mark, camera, action.
That's not how that works.
That is how it works.
But you did it as if that's how it worked.
That is how it works.
I just said that's not how it works.
How does it work? Mark, camera, action. Done.
Yeah, I guess that's good enough for an intro. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Subject Matter. I'm your host, Stephen Jenkins, here with your co-host, Mr. Jonathan Dayton, and special guest, Mr. Trevor McCabe. This marks...
back, baby.
He's back.
I'm back.
He's back. This is, I gotta do our tagline, because I forgot to do that, I think, in one of the last episodes. But we're experts in nothing, here to give you our thoughts and opinions on all of it. Anyway, Trevor is back. This is, other than Addy, this officially makes him the most appeared guest on our show, because he had... Three appearances, four episodes, because the conspiracy theory was split into two. We actually asked somebody else, no offense to you, we asked your brother, not Connor, your second brother,
my twin brother,
to be on the podcast, but he had some sort of class for theater at a college, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. And so he ditched us, and we got Trevor.
The better one. The better twin. That is the correct answer, by the way.
We don't have a... Can we take a stance on that?
Yeah, I guess
I don't think we legally can. Well, legally, maybe.
Morally, you can't.
Morally,
legally, you
morally,
we should not.
We cannot take a stance on that.
Yeah.
The answer is me.
And
anyway.
I honestly don't think he's listening, so he could probably say whatever the heck he wants. But, just in case, that's what we're going to go with. So, tonight, we're going to talk about the Olympics. And by talk about the Olympics, we mean we're going to start talking about the Olympics, some general thoughts, and we'll likely veer into a completely different discussion.
Probably.
Something else. But we have a little bit of a framework tonight because the last couple episodes we didn't really have much of a topic. But I think that's what we'll start with. So, Trevor, this was your topic. You wanted to talk about the Olympics. Olympics, go.
Well, personally, I like the Winter Olympics better.
I agree.
Like,
that's fair.
Winter Olympics. The Olympics are probably more fun to participate in. If I was trying to participate in one, I'd pick the Olympics because there's like other things I would be able to do.
Okay.
But to watch, pick Winter Olympics all the way.
Fair enough.
Well,
Why?
I think... Go ahead.
Is it the just being in winter, or is it the activities that are participating?
I think the competition is... Well, I watched... My first Olympic watching was the Winter Olympics. So I think that also plays into it.
Okay.
But... Yeah, no, I think they're more fun to watch. Sometimes the Olympics can get a little, well, we're going to just keep going through the same person over and over again, which happens with the Winter Olympics, but it's also more fun to watch, like figure skaters, because they're all different, stuff like that.
If you've watched the podcast for any length of time, you know that I prefer the cold to the heat.
Yes.
And I'd like to, I don't think that in and of itself influences why I like the Winter Olympics better. I think, honestly, it's because in the Winter Olympics, essentially, you have to have snow pretty much for all of the stuff, and obviously right, you can play volleyball and you can do track pretty much 3 seasons out of the year, generally speaking. Obviously summer is the best, but you can do all those things in spring and fall before it gets too cold, or not while it's still during the end of winter, even though it's spring. But winter, you can really only do those activities 1 season out of the year, so to speak. And so I think that's, we don't see them quite as much. It's a little more rare, I guess, at least for me to see them. Same thing with just generally speaking on TV, what's going to be on more often. It's going to be some of those Summer Olympics that people are going to see. I don't know if that's...
I think summer is more common because the athletes that are competing in it, the athletes more.
Yeah.
I don't have a preference on which one I watch. I don't watch them significantly as much as other people probably do, but I do watch them. I am a huge fan of curling.
Curling?
Really?
Huge fan.
I like curling.
Huge fan. Curling, I don't know. There's just something about that sport that just intrigues me. I don't know why. It's for something that's so mellow, it's so intense at the exact same time.
Satisfying, right? Yeah.
And you're like, what are they gonna do?
Yep.
Like, Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
I
get on
understand.
board with that.
Well, what's your because his is curling. And what's yours?
See,
Well, let's do summer and winter. So
Oh,
for summer,
Come back to me. No, okay, I got it. Swimming. I enjoy swimming.
I like
Maybe
that
that's
too.
because of Michael Phelps. However, I think it's more than just Michael Phelps. I just enjoy watching swimming. Not diving, but the swimming
I
portion.
think if I'm correct, Michael Phelps grew up like
He
town
grew up
away from us. Or
He
so.
grew up
Pretty
close. He grew up close to here. His mother was born in Westernport. I believe that's the story was.
Okay.
And then she moved, and she now lives in Baltimore. So they're very close to Maryland.
Interesting. Yeah, I too like the swimming, but continue.
Winter
Your favorites.
Olympics, probably favorite to watch. I don't know. Snowboarding.
Like
I like snowboarding.
downhill snowboarding, jumps, or like half pipe.
Like the half
Half
pipe.
pipe.
Sean
Sean
White.
White.
Sean White. Yeah,
Yep.
no. That was like that's the
Yeah.
athlete you think of. Or at least I think of when I think of like my childhood watching
You
the
look like
Olympics.
Sean White.
I look like Sean White. Is that how that works?
You just do.
In post, I'm gonna
I am
throw
Sean
up
White.
the picture where Sean White and Trevor look.
What did he smiles a lot? But anyway, for this Olympics, I don't know. Gymnastics is nice to watch. I just enjoy
Oh, that's true.
like because I know the work that goes into that.
Sure.
So I can like appreciate the sport of that a lot.
Gymnastics for me
For
is
summer.
like for summer is like 99% great and 1% awful, and it's when there's an injury. Because
Oh, yeah.
typically when there is an accident, an injury in gymnastics,
bad.
it's bad.
It hurt,
and
yeah.
that I get very squeamish when I see joints going the wrong direction.
So because it's your 99, you like it 99% of the
That
time. Is
1%,
that your favorite though? Is that your favorite?
I can't say it's my favorite
Okay.
because most of it I like, but it's hard to watch because I know that 1% will ruin the entire rest of it if
Right.
it does happen.
Okay. Then
Also, having seen that, when it does happen, I'm constantly nervous and like, but if that makes sense, I'm like it's stressful to watch. In the Winter Olympics, I go back and forth between the skiing, specifically the ski jump. I think that's cool. The half pipe, like you said, bobsled.
That's cool.
I love, which is really really cool. I think if I could choose one of those to do, I'd probably want to
Oh,
try the
absolutely,
bobsled.
absolutely.
And I also really do love the ice skating.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about the choreography. And
So you said,
everything
but you
that's
said
like-
you said that gymnastics wasn't your favorite. Is that still your favorite summer, or is it not your favorite summer?
So I can't. It's hard for me to tell what my favorite summer one is. Maybe it is gymnastics. I like the high dive a lot. I like the swimming. Swimming's good, but it's like you go that way, and then you go that way,
I like the
and then you go that way.
I like the variety of the Summer Olympics. Like winter, it's all related to snow,
Right,
which
yep.
is fine. Which
Fair
is
enough.
fine.
Fair enough.
I enjoy it, but I also like the variety. Like there's a pool, there's a soccer field, they play basketball.
Right.
There's
It's
a track,
a lot
there's
of
an outdoor track, there's a high jump,
I can
there's
see
so
that.
much stuff.
See, I think that's the good counter argument against why the Summer Olympics are better.
Sure.
Better.
I
They're
can
both
see that.
amazing.
Yeah,
I enjoy watching both, even though I don't like. I'm the same boat as you. I don't watch them like all the time. Whenever the Olympics are on, they're on the TV.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's not quite.
If
I just
I'm
catch
gonna
up.
watch something, I'm gonna catch up on it. Or if it's someone that's popular, like Sean White, I tried to follow him a little bit during the Winter Olympics because it's his fourth and final.
Right.
Sure.
And it's
Is
just
it
Sean
fourth or
White.
fifth?
This is, I think, his fourth.
Fourth?
It's 16 years.
That makes sense. What's your least favorite in both Olympics?
Least favorite in both Olympics? Ooh. I don't know. Least favorite in winter. I don't know if I have a least favorite. I gotta think on that.
Trevor,
Let me-
least favorite.
He's googling
Of
Sean
what?
White
I am
facts.
gonna.
He did finish fourth in the half pipe, made it to the finals. I do know that.
Sean White
he's been
done.
he's been a gold medalist.
5 Olympics.
5 Olympics.
6, 10, 18. He won the gold.
Wow. Do you think and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'll go ahead and start.
2010 gold. That was the one that I remember watching him win that gold.
Was it 2010?
That was the one I remember him
Okay.
watching.
Okay.
Watching him do it.
I know I watched 2014. I'm trying to remember if I watched the 2010 or not, but I'll start because you couldn't think.
I'm thinking.
So, correct me if do they play? This tells you how much I don't like it if I'm wrong. Do they actually do like soccer in the Summer Olympics as an actual game, or is that not?
Yes.
I think, do they?
But okay, here's a quick question. I don't follow soccer, so I can't give you a straight answer. I do know that they have the World Cup,
Right.
which is
Okay.
separate.
That is separate. No, that is
Right, that is
100%
separate. I think,
Because they do have basketball.
generally speaking, the sports that also exist elsewhere, like volleyball and basketball and those things, those are my least favorite for the Summer Olympics because you can get them everywhere. I think
Soccer is a good question because I did not know. I know they have basketball. I know they have the World Cup, which is separate than
Summer Olympic sports. Google's our friend.
Google's our friend. This shows how much we don't watch it though.
Basketball,
I knew
archery.
that.
Archery's fun to watch.
Archery's fun.
Archery's cool.
Let me go. Basketball. We said basketball. Volleyball. Diving.
Volleyball's fun to
Football.
watch.
Yeah, football. Yes.
Out of all those, I do like volleyball, but
Judo's pretty fun
generally
to watch,
speaking,
too.
They have karate now.
Karate.
yes,
I
yeah,
know, I
they've
saw
had
that.
they've had I think taekwondo for a couple years, I believe, because I
The
remember
last
watching
Olympics.
it a good.
It was the last Olympics.
But
2018.
that's always interesting, just as
It was 2020.
a black belt in taekwondo.
Right, exactly.
It's a little bit different, I think, than some of the stuff that we've done.
That's another
which
one
is
where you can
interesting
kind
to
of
see, but
you can see what they do
right.
to like you can see yourself doing that in that you've
Yeah,
done
you
stuff like that.
understand the context a little bit more.
It's hard to judge just Olympians in general, no downfall or fault of their own. But like, it's funny to compare countries, like how much emphasis they put on sports. like back in 2018, there was a video. I think this girl was from Hungary on the half pipe. She did no tricks whatsoever, and Hungary is not known for their Olympic snowboarders. But in the United States, to qualify to go to the Olympics, you have to be one of the top
Right.
best.
Sure.
And so for different countries, different qualifying measures. Same thing with Taekwondo.
Right.
I don't know how you measure Taekwondo.
Right, that'd be a
you
hard
can measure
one to-
maybe
Be-
sparring,
right.
like point sparring, maybe in a way, like UFC type mixed
Kind of
martial
just
arts
like
fighting.
matches one, essentially.
But like just kata form,
Right.
yeah,
I don't know how you judge that.
yeah,
It'd be hard.
yeah.
Because it'd be so different.
To say someone's better
Right,
than someone else,
yeah.
so you can go to the Olympics, but you can't. I don't know how you would judge
Yeah, that's tough.
a form.
Right.
And if you don't know what a form is, it's just a bunch of moves put together into a miniature skit.
Right.
What I would call
Yeah,
it.
watch Cobra Kai. It explains what kata is.
There you go.
As far as my
Watch
least,
Cobra Kai. That's what
that's what you take away from this is watch Cobra Kai.
I need to find time to watch the new season. Anyway, that's beside the
That's
point.
beside the point. Least favorite Winter Olympics. It's one of the skiing. I forget what it's called. It's like the skiing that has like all the small hills. I don't know how else to put it.
Downhill.
Like,
Is it
downhill.
downhill? Is that downhill
It's
skiing?
not the one where it's like the winding
Not
and you're
the
trying to
oh.
go through the flags or whatever. It's
Okay.
the other one. It's like
I know what you mean.
we're gonna
yeah,
pause
yeah.
and look it up. So the best
And we're back.
result, the best result we can come up with is the mogul skiing.
We're not.
Cross country.
I'll throw up
Would that be cross country
picture
skiing?
of it.
Yeah, we're not experts on
We're,
skiing.
Not us.
I literally just said we're not experts in anything. No, I don't love that just because I don't know. Some of the appeal of watching a skiing is the speed, and with that, there's just not a lot of I don't know. As far as the Winter Olympics goes, it's probably my least favorite. Trevor, least favorite.
Least favorite.
From either.
The luge is pretty. It's
Luge.
I like the skeleton better than the luge. I feel like they're in the similar vein of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I think I like skeleton better. I think
do.
skeleton's more dangerous. Now, which is more dangerous, winter or summer?
Winter.
I think winter is.
Probably.
I would say
I'd
winter.
say winter.
Winter is definitely.
I mean,
You got a lot of sharp things.
it's a lot of heights. I was saying a lot of sharp things. Even something like ice skating.
I mean, bobsled is basically this giant metal tank that you're
Pretty
taking on the
much, yeah.
ice. So
So here's another caveat. You said there's a large tank with a lot of ice. The amount of work that goes into hosting the Olympics, I think would be mind-boggling. How much money the country has to front.
right.
I don't know where the money comes from. Country, Olympic games together, council, whomever.
Right.
But it's a lot of stuff to put together and manage. And if you looked at their food, like at the Olympics, I know we're kind of dovetailed here, but their food in Beijing is crazy. Like the machines that deliver their food to them, the robots that do
Right.
makes their stir fry, and all because of COVID.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those because I did some research. I know that the idea of the Olympics dates back
Yeah,
to
it's
like
all-
Greek times.
Yeah, it's
it's
a long
like
time ago.
really
Long
old.
time.
But the actual like International Olympics, I believe the research that I did said like late 1800s when it first really came along. And if you notice, and this is not to take away anything from the athletes that came before, but you'll notice there is a very dramatic increase in quality as the year of actual performances and athletes as the years go on, likely because of, like what you said, the new technology and things like that, especially even with the training.
Yeah.
That can help with that. I don't know if that's...
They have altitude chambers, and they have more money that goes into training, so that definitely makes them more money. It's also funny to think, too, how much money they actually make. Because they get a decent payout for bringing home a gold medal.
Sure.
So, and other countries do it differently, give out different prize money when they return home. I don't know if the United States is... I read at one point 50, 40, 30, something in that range. Could be completely off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But then some people, you don't hear about them ever. Like, they're not famous.
Right.
But then when basketball comes around, it's like Carmelo Anthony and Kobe and a whole bunch of big name basketball players that are making millions and millions of dollars are Olympians too.
Right.
And so, like Michael Phelps, the best Olympian of all time in the way of winning gold medals or titles, he's rich, yes. He does a lot of endorsement deals, yes, but he isn't significantly rich compared to other athletes that only have one medal.
Right.
Or no medals.
They're
getting their income from other places.
Well, right. And they're not the Olympic. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't honestly been able to watch as much of them this year as I wanted to. But are they doing spectators, like actual spectators that are there, or no, not really?
Yes, they have spectators.
Okay.
I did see some in the stands. There was not very many of them, and the United States did not send any ambassadors over.
Okay.
Which is a whole nother issue.
Well, and that was kind of going to be my question, was like, do you think they've taken a hit as far as like the actual like revenue of bringing tourists and guests?
Oh, probably.
to watch.
Probably, because if it's limited, I mean, I don't know how China does it, but I guess when in America, you would have a significant turnout of people that would come to watch different games.
Well, because you see, like,
and family members too.
Right. Well, you see on the actual videos, like, family members of the people they're watching at home.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, I don't know. I just, as a side note, because I've seen some of them, like, when their family member doesn't actually do great. And I don't know if I'd like to be that family member.
Right.
Having myself being filmed and then having to have my reaction to my team or my family member failing being televised. Not that, you can't really fail in the Olympics because you're there.
You're there.
Just getting there is an accomplishment.
Is a feat in itself.
But in general.
I think it's kind of neat that it's every 4 years.
That is cool.
And not every year. It's like...
It wouldn't be as interesting if it was...
It's like a build-up, like, so you can only compete a certain amount of times. Like, people that make it to the Olympics, they're like, this is my last Olympics. And it's like, you can go next year. You're only 32, but then they'll be 36 when they're next year. And that's a long time in sports.
I mean, that's between just the different Olympics, right? Like, it's 8 years. If you're
it's 2. It's 2. It's every 4 years for different Olympics.
I thought it was. Didn't it used to be every 4 just in general?
Maybe. But it was 2020 was supposed to be the summer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Japan,
right. That's where I was getting confused, because I was thinking it was like 2018.
Technically we've had a back-to-back year, because last year was the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, and then this year was the winter.
Yeah. So winter will be now in 2026, and summer should be in 2024.
That makes sense. I don't know why I thought it was.
So you basically got a year and then another Olympic, and then a year.
Every 2 years you'll have an Olympic, and it will rotate between summer and winter.
Makes sense.
But just in sports, though, like, you see athletes after like 30, 35 years, they retire, and it's like, wow, you retired going, they have enough money to do so. But in competitive terms, the edge is gone at like 30.
Well, right.
In 32. I mean, so for Olympians that go to the Olympics, they might, like Sean going 5 times is a pretty good feat. Michael, I think, went about 5 times, which is a pretty big feat. But some, 32, it's like next to my life, I'll be 36, and if I want to peak in, I'll be 40. It's like,
right.
The edge is gone there.
Like you said, especially when you have the money to be able to retire, it's not like you have to continue doing that to survive.
No.
Not that. Olympics is the only thing that they do anyway, because they're training. They're training for those, 4 years in between.
Yeah, doing something else. But it's just, I don't know, it's just mind-boggling.
Speaking of age, we had the youngest ever head coach win the Super Bowl. Let me write.
Sean McVay.
He was. Let me look. I wrote it down. He was 36. 36 years old.
Pretty impressive.
Youngest ever head coach at the Super Bowl.
Which just proves the point that young people can do great things.
That's true.
It's true.
He also had after Brady. Who was it? What's his name? Though he was 40 years old. Just won. Do you know his name?
Who's up?
He's a Rams player.
He's a Rams player?
Andrew Whitworth?
Yes, he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
40 years old. He's the oldest, I think, after Tom Brady, because he's retired now. He's the oldest active player in the NFL.
Which is fantastic.
Or was. And he won the Super. That was his first Super Bowl.
We know the
win.
Super Bowl scripted.
Yes, it is. The Steelers won this year, didn't they?
Right.
Tom Brady won. Tom Brady wins.
We were all at a Super Bowl party,
We were.
and none of us follow very closely the world of football.
No.
Besides one other person that was there that kind of seemed to be pretty into it, and every about 5 seconds, he just starts asking, "Wait, where's Tom Brady?"
Okay, I was just wondering. Okay, I assumed he was gonna be there.
I, for one, did my research, and I knew every single time that the team, made a hole in one, and
Field
got
goal.
the basket.
Field goal.
Field goals. They made those. In
And shot a
football,
3-pointer.
right?
No, this is soccer.
Oh, okay. Goal.
Obviously. That's another one for the Winter Olympics. Hockey. I do like watching hockey. Now, you can
Hockey's
get that
fun.
more other places too.
Right.
I do like watching hockey.
But nobody watched no. I'm going for the NHL right now.
Okay. I'm ready.
Nobody watches. I don't like. It isn't as big as the NBA or the NFL. Like,
I don't watch sports on TV. The only sport that I watch on TV is baseball, which is the slowest sport to watch, but is really the only
That is
sport
correct.
that I watch on television. It's also my most enjoyable game to go watch in
I was gonna say.
person, but also is one of these slower games to go watch. I get more amped up at a basketball game, going to see a basketball game, but I for some reason prefer going to see a baseball game. I think it's the atmosphere.
It's the feeling. It's the everything, and it's not just. You're not just there to watch the game.
It's the hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
It's
Food.
the-
It's
yeah.
the
It's the actual
cheering. It's
experience.
the.
Yeah.
In terms of, I do like, because I've been to a couple baseball games, I do like the actual experience. As far as actually watching a game, if I'm going to go watch
Yeah,
a
you're
game,
not gonna
it's got to
watch.
be something like volleyball, which is pretty constant, high energy.
Like
It's
a
always got
basketball.
like something
right.
like basketball.
NASCAR's fun to watch.
NASCAR. I have a friend who's pretty into NASCAR that told me he might take me someday, but
You should go.
it's like
NASCAR's very fun. If you think that going in a circle the entire time is not fun, you've not been to a NASCAR race. I was dead set. I wouldn't say dead set against something. Yeah, this is kind of boring. I watch it on TV. I'll flip a channel, come back to it, watch the end because the end's usually exciting. But going to it in real life, on multiple occasions now, I've thoroughly enjoyed going to a NASCAR race. You would not believe how loud it is and how exciting it is to go see it in person.
it's one of those things.
I believe that.
I know it's exciting when the drivers like forget what they're supposed to do, and it's like they got to look down at their cheat sheet. And it's like, all right, left turn coming up. Oh, left turn coming up.
It was
I'm kidding.
I
I
wanted
make
to-
fun of it because it's just a perfect joke and it's funny. Though I do actually appreciate the race.
It's just like it's also baffling the amount of fans that go to NASCAR races, and just how much money that it rakes in for literally driving in a circle.
Right.
Like it's not like an IndyCar race.
Well, but like you said, it's the speed at which
It's the
they're
speed.
going. It's
No, it's the
feeling
speed,
it when
it's
it- when
the
it
atmosphere.
goes past you.
It is the atmosphere. It is what they did back in the day. I say back in the day, like it's a long time ago, but back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, and they had fast cars, and cars were the thing. And
Yep.
you
Right.
drove around and you raced them, and just kind of how it evolved now. It's just very interesting. But back on Tom Brady, it's also very impressive that he's spent that long in the NFL and won so many accolades
Right.
and awards.
Mhm.
And I think if he were to elect to stay in the NFL, that he would definitely still be competitive. Maybe not the best, but he would still be very competitive at his age.
Yes.
But it's also kind of sad you had to wait 5 years to be into the Hall of Fame.
This is true. Well, we got a lot more out of that topic than I was expecting. I figured we'd kind of go off the rails, but I think we did pretty well. So thank you guys for watching. We didn't have a fake sponsor today because we're not on top of things, but any of the previous things we mentioned that could be a sponsor.
Comment below for your favorite sports, just favorite sports, favorite Olympics. That would be nice to know. And
If you have a topic that you'd like to talk about next, we'll bring on a guest specifically tailored to that topic.
And did I see somewhere that Tesla's coming out with a cell phone, or was that a
Oh,
prank?
it's a thing.
Okay.
Thing.
Topic for next week. We'll see you then.